Hobbits. Do you remember our first room, Ben? Me on the top bank, and you on the bottom bank, and Louise Dombrowski dancing on the hookah with a flashlight. Mr. Lynch, knives, knife, whatever. Good morning, Mr. Simple, Mr. Simple, or simply, 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 David. Yesterday or not Lynch. It's January 24, so really only 1 week. January is on January 26, also for this first month, 2026, 2026, it's a Saturday in Naples. Today totally cloudy. Yes, white grey cloudy, perhaps more green and white. Got to see engine, and also with the light rain. A few moments is a light rain. Now it stopped, but yes, in general it was this light rain, and also with the wind, cold and heavy considering the period. Yes, it's between and it's early afternoon, 13 and 50 minutes. 57 to Fahrenheit 14 Celsius. And this means this is really cold, like in this period, in fact, cold schedule for the winter period. So starts for SEO. So on this effect, Chandler and 4G last June 17 effect, we really welcome for SEO the reports regarding the summer, general summer, last past summer. As perhaps some know, remember if they follow in fact, last past summer, I think, body. So fact, to really welcome for SEO the reports regarding you. Now also for the winter, welcome in particular, be precise. And in December 21, in particular in Italy in 16, 3 and 4 and 3 p.m. Yes, perhaps some know, remember, I think, body was which I supposed to I'm sure, to see the amazing for him, so it's sometimes my proposal, like the mission to Chinese, sweater and perhaps paradoxato for me, and I did the student take out issues for the spring exam, you to this fact of spring association soft for some agitated for the auto, one second, and soft soon as in general for this is as a gadget, as a gadget degrees, at least for me, also thing to say if you had absolutely copy, but not because it's winter and city period, it's winter, it's cold, so in January we complain, should complain, but when I see in the sentence, absolutely incomplete. I'm referring or is referred to me, perhaps particular for this period. Thanks for the fact that I don't feel cold, but I feel cold less than the other people. Thanks to a series of practice, but two practices in particular that I follow and do since some years to which I always struggle for cold. And when I come in winter period or winter weather persevere, I always try to come to explain what are the practices. So since I wrote it 3 weeks ago, and in previous side in the first part of the comment with an asterisk. So someone si interessa su una volta di sopra che si dice che se farsi parte del vostro compito di nastri capito non forse farà più finalmente fin con altri in fact di fil culo finalmente di fin con yes ora noi si pensa da fin che 90-95% di fil culo o avere in genere in muy for me also gut stia da batta scatozzo in genere tu hai che in sé se mi dici just for it's bad altissimo mi sa che mi film adesso Ingrid Afro, ich finde gerade von dieser Spitze vor Fahrenheit 14 Celsius. Hat in Barcelona questa atmosfera, ti ci vedi? Questo è due divise. Sì, ottiene insomma di sé corti in genere, mi in realtà mi scioglie se mostro perfetto. Se si suppone fa che sono tante ne vite, sky vita. White Rivet si morghi e il suo film si può di serie e according consigli trends last weeks just 2 weeks according consigli with consigli matization I think it's most sure that pratically it's most sure that later might became I think darker bleaker and also that Vivier Rain let's see we see what happens I think of yes but as reason dopo sono oggi in Svizzera nel sequenzo di iniziative che scrive today richiamo bad so reason mi dico lui non è torto mi frase mix tu non lanci in corte in sta number 1 es magari things on was the birthday of the brave scrutiny in particular the birthday but the brave scrutiny only for reason is the brave scrutiny was a beautiful great scrutiny beautiful painted with branches and to be per the past from brave scrutiny in fact no those things later you met as you read and so one ma come section should be pointed at the first point third first comment per forte comment quando vedemmo si read comment section I know if you can see read it can see notice it read well from the shot near me from later think yes see the green flowers along the flowers mix between the plants or if not even better surely better risale shot pratically the first part of the video through which Varush showed you with the scatter St. James classical mythical window classical mythical room because perhaps no there is the other mythical room with other mythical window or from a broader perspective also from this other practically is the shot similar to classical shot film more than this would previous scrutiny bit beautiful great routine beautiful pentaments also for the first routine color routine first routine all the story with the parts color routine and if entry back exactly is surely color routine is still in cover image vision as one of them one day should change it also saying this is shot so sorry this effect buff when there isn't green or the shooter not so there is but more when there is because the effect is image nice the test picture sent so saying is used for the previous scrutiny beautiful routine bit beautiful pentaments perhaps is for the first routine color routine also is entry back exactly and now I see Reddit also in case for this new routine so but repeat expression also in case for first time so yes and this little speech sentence is but also always better visible for me its entirety green is a shot participants is mythical legendary shot shot. La serie di shooter di not visible, non fatto mistake, not visible, non first days of October, but it's important, all because important that also days not visible, no? As you read the special sense of for the continuous free, so valid also for it, so I'll be once again, but also always better visible for me, needs and TV, need a shot, anticipanti mythical genere shot. And finally, from a mythical keyboard, a Magic 640 APG 625 also in the case of this mythical legendary shot. Questi molto people follow 100%, e se leggi che tu sono pure me myself, Russell Buschese, and finally, I hope you all have a great breakfast. Today it's late, really late in general. Also, mass, fact, I see late for mass, but and if no, for hours, because I'm repeating since last December 31, it took for the first time. It's yes late in general and also for the record, but not to in fact for hours, but for hours also it's a kind of normality. Make breakfast at these hours. So, se vediamo, it's also, it's also late, but above all important is to fare io from the record reaction, sembra ti tu sei in fact breakfast fienten sim bit, start to eat with me drinking milk at fienten, parte e te dire tu su yesterday, think the record is record sembra ti su sera show. Lo ti repeat, close the record, really close the record, lì è tutto mars, si mette a minuto. More no, then yes. Just roll, just in code 13 and 15 minutes. But l'important thing is show cinema set in some way also today first time so I'm William and as we always say ecco fa sono most beautiful for absolutely. Tomorrow is supposed to be tomorrow, what to go to 11. Now I'll see.